if you've been doing this work for a while and you have been able to move the Kundalini energy up to your brain, if you have been popping yourself, right? I'll talk about in detail what that looks like, how easily it can be done, etc. But I wanted to talk about the second phase. The first phase is just waking up to the reality that you're not your body, you're a spiritual soul having a human experience, blah blah blah. Okay. And then you have this intellectual understanding, then the energies move, and then you might have some profound experiences, some mystical experiences, some out of body experiences, and suddenly you feel this bliss. You see beauty in the world. You have these highs. You feel like you're on top of the world. You found something, right? It's like a honeymoon with your soul. And then, just like every honeymoon, it ends. And now comes the cleansing, very fast evolution, karmic cleansing, the dark night of the soul. And you can't get rid of anything that's bad without facing it. All your beliefs, everything starts to shatter. Your worldview, the way you see everything, all beliefs, all societal norms, everything just shatters because you realize what a facade everything was, right? And because your entire worldview collapsed, the book of law that you have established, all these agreements, thousands of agreements that you have made with everybody in this world throughout your life, all of those agreements are now falling apart because they're not real. They don't serve you. They don't help you, right? You realize, okay, I should have never been taking anything personal. I should have never made any assumptions ever about anything or anyone. All blame is a fool's game. Anger is toxic. Gossip is poison. OMG. Then you start to realize what masters have been able to do. People that are on the spiritual journey, what they're capable of doing. The self-healing. You realize what your body is capable of if you create harmony, if you create homeostasis, if you can align your centers. And you figure out how to do that, but now your being is going to free itself from your past. All the guilt, shame, everything. You start to see the world differently. You start to view people differently. And when you realize that you're never going to blame anyone, you're not going to be angry at anyone, everybody's divine, everybody's living in their own reality, and there's overlap with your reality, but that doesn't mean you're going to take anything personally or you're going to make any assumptions. You can never understand anyone's world completely. If you saw the world, if you saw yourself from anyone else's perspective, you'll be so confused. You'll be like, these people don't know me. Well, of course they don't. And so it gets very confusing, very frustrating when you enter the dark night of the soul, the void phase of this journey. And I want you to know this too shall pass. It's part of the process. You see, there's these very slow unlocking of you that happens throughout the spiritual journey. Because if everything was unlocked at once, if all of the onion layers were removed at once, you would fall apart. You would go crazy. They're going to have to lock you up. You wouldn't be able to handle it. So every phase, now see, spiritual journey never ends. Because you're an eternal being, you're always going to be learning new things forever. There's always going to be something that's a mystery. You will never know the reality of everything at once. There's a limit, there's a ceiling of how much we can learn, experience in this lifetime. And when we go to the next lifetime, we'll have newer things. But there's always going to be mystery for us to learn about, explore, and experience, and just learn and evolve. Spiritual, forever, eternal adventure that we have. And because of that, you can be at ease that you are where you need to be and everything is just fine. There are no mistakes. You have never made a mistake ever in your life. There's no such thing as right or wrong. And when you truly embody that, not just hear it and know it, when you embody that, you realize how freeing that can be. And before it becomes freeing, it becomes quite frustrating, because you still have to be on earth, and there are certain limitations in which you need to experience things before you leave earth. I have a lot of friends that are in the dark night of the soul phase. I have a lot of friends in this void, and it is very frustrating. It is very, very frustrating. You feel like you're constantly being tested. You feel like you're constantly being tested, but you're not really being tested. Your old self is collapsing and your new self is emerging. And you can't go from one you to the next you without a test, without a lesson. This is the universe's way of preparing you on how you can enjoy the next phase of life. You know, Jim Rohn says, if somebody gives you $1 million, you better become a millionaire, or you're going to lose it. Why? You need to first become a person that deserves $1 million, that knows what to do with it, that has the wisdom to keep it and multiply it, and do good things for themselves and the world with it. You know, it's not the journey or the destination. It's who you become that's valuable. It's who you become that is the fruit that you will be proud of. You'll be proud of who you have become at the end. Not the journey, not where you have reached. Who you are, the new you. It's a very personal thing. It's a very personal journey. But it's important for you to know people. It's important for you to have people in your life that you can talk to. So you can share your frustrations, share stories of how you're feeling, so you can make sense of it. So you can assign meaning to it. You can define it. You can put definitions on things in a way that will serve you better. All of existence, life, everything is sort of meaningless, but you can assign meaning to it. You can create meaning for it. That's why they say you see the world as you are, not as it is, because you assign meaning to it. See, the version of you that you think exists as you only exists for you. Every person creates a new version of you every time they interact with you, including strangers. So the version of you that you think you are is just for you. There's thousands of versions of you. One of the things that we have to go through in this experiment of Earth is that we have to go through challenges, pain, trauma. We have to. A person that has never gone through those will be the most miserable person. You show me a person that has never gone through trauma or challenges or struggle in life, and I'll show you a person that is probably suicidal. Our mind needs challenges and struggle to evolve, to grow. Otherwise it'll create hell for itself inside of you. They had an experiment done once where they took some trees and they put them in this lab. They wanted to know, without storms, without bugs, without diseases, how tall can these trees become? How can they flourish? And they found out that those trees were a lot weaker, and those trees did not grow to their full potential. And those trees couldn't even survive one normal storm when they were taken outside. It's the storms, it's the diseases, it's the overcoming of seasons and fall and winter and snow and hurricanes that actually creates resistance, that creates these beautiful, strong, flexible plants. You know? You can probably remind yourself of some of the struggles that you have overcome. That looking back, you're you're really proud of yourself that you went through it. And you came out the other side stronger, more successful. You probably healed yourself maybe. Or you didn't think that you would ever be a homeowner, or you would buy the car that you want, or you would travel to places that you want, or find the love of your life, or be able to enjoy the nights and evenings and whatever you do with your friends, right? You can probably think of some things that you have overcome that you didn't even think you could overcome. So every stage of spirituality is preparing you for something, some version of you. And if you trust it, you can just watch your higher self guide you from the place of stillness, from the place of just being in the present moment, not allowing the past to affect you and not worrying about the future. Bashar says, there's nowhere to go, there's no one to be, there's no hurry. You're an eternal being. So if you just really enjoy where you are, and if you just really enjoy and give it all you got with whatever you have in hand, Michael Singer talks about that. He says, whatever's in front of you, if you do it to the best of your ability, life will become magical. Become so excited in the morning when you think of gratitude. When you woke up this morning, are you healthy today? Did you feel good? You know what it's like to be sick. You know what it's like to have a flu, cold, fever, aches. And if you weren't feeling that today, why can't you be a little grateful for that? Wake up out of bed and tell yourself, I am the best. I am a lucky person. I am beautiful. I'm divine. God loves me. My higher self is ready to guide me, to take care of me, show me synchronicities, coincidences. I am ready for synchronicities. I am looking forward to coincidences. I am looking forward to enjoying the weather, the day. I'm going to go touch some grass. And get excited about life. Get excited about what's coming up next. Yes, you probably have no clue what's coming up next, but that's the fun part, because it's coming from the unknown. And as long as your energy is high, as long as you're grateful, as long as you're an optimist, either the things that you want will come to you, or you will run into challenges that are preparing you for what's coming to you. And when you view it that way, now, no matter what happens, it's going to be good for you. You're either going to learn something, or you're going to achieve something. you stay in this state long enough where you just view people as divine beings. You feel so much compassion for people, strangers. You start to embody unconditional love. Sometimes you'll walk by a particular plant, a particular tree, flower, and you'll just feel so much love for it. Being in stillness, being in the present moment with no thoughts and just watching the world, it's magical. You could be sitting next to people that normally you couldn't stand being around. And if you watch them from a place of awe of life, if you watch them from a place of just this stillness, this divine love, and you just watch them as some beings that decided to play this human role around you, suddenly everything becomes so interesting. And it's not that I want you to just see the world and just experience it as, oh, interesting, okay. They're just having a human experience. No, that's not the goal here. The goal is when you change the way you look at things, people, circumstances, everything. When you change the way you look at things, and you just keep doing that for a little while, the things you look at start to change. They start to change behavior. Those people will start to change their behavior to match your newly integrated energy. Ho'oponopono has this concept that you can change other people's behaviors. You can make other people be more kind, more patient, more loving, more compassionate, more empathetic. Now, you don't need to go around doing that. You simply need to change. Neville Goddard tells us that everyone is simply an actor playing a role to reflect your inner world to you. So the only thing you need to do is start viewing the world from stillness, from present moment, from the God's view, from the lens of just present moment stillness. No beliefs, no assumptions, nothing taking personally. Every time you take something personal, every time you feel guilty, every time you feel shame, every time you feel anxiety, every time you feel fear, imagine that you are putting on a tinted, let's call it orange-colored sunglasses, orange-tinted sunglasses, right? Now, every plant you look at will not look the way it is. The snow will look orange. Everything will look different. And you're going to think that the world has changed. No. You are seeing it differently. Remove the lens. How do you do that? Get rid of all your beliefs when you're viewing the world. Get rid of all your assumptions. Get rid of things that you take personal, the judgments, the shame, the anxieties, the fears. Get rid of it all. Just become the emptiness and stillness and just watch the world. You will realize how different the world actually is. And you've been just creating a mess out of your life with all of the beliefs and traumas and everything that you've taken personally, and poor me and victim mindset. You get rid of all of that. Free yourself. And then you maintain that state. Your dominant vibration will keep going up because you are inherently a high vibrational being. And because you contract every time you experience a low vibrational feeling. When you contract when you get angry, you contract when you're feeling guilt, shame, anxiety, fear, taking things personally, making assumptions, want people to change, everything. You're just contracting. You're creating so much disharmony in your centers. You're creating a mess of your inner world, and guess what the outer world must do now? Reflect your inner chaos to you. Imagine somebody walking up to you, ruining your day. And then they're saying, I don't know what came over me. I just really felt like giving you what you don't want. Why? Because you were fearful, you were in a negative state of being, and guess what? The world reflected the negative state to you. And overcoming that is phase 2. The dark night of the soul, the void. And it's chaotic because the old self is dying. And the old self that is not love, everything that is not love inside of you must die. You know, it's like burning off dead wood. Healthy forest fire, right? We need a healthy forest fire. If you don't every now and again have a healthy forest fire to burn off the dead wood, there will be so much dead wood that'll accumulate that at some point when there's an accidental fire, it will burn the entire forest and it'll burn off the topsoil, turning the whole place into a desert. So that's what you need to do. Constantly liberate yourself. Constantly create harmony in your centers. Constantly. What are you doing? You're constantly breaking bonds with people and things so that people and things do not impact your future, your state of being, your harmony inside of you. We bond to things too, by the way. I sit on this chair a lot. I'm bonded to it. But I do breath work, I do meditations, I'm constantly liberating myself. I'm constantly breaking the bonds. This is an experiment. This is the lesson of being on earth. Who knows what the next experiment in the next life is going to be? But it is becoming obvious, more and more obvious, when I have these stillness moments where I just get these downloads. I get this clarity. The world sort of just reveals its secrets to me. I'm walking with the empty mind and I'm just getting, oh, no, of course, yes, of course. And then I get these thought blocks of downloads. That's what they call them, right? That's what Abraham Hicks calls them. It's so beautiful when you maintain that emptiness inside of you that the world will explain itself to you. The more empty you become, the more humble, the more relaxed into the present moment, the more the world is ready to reveal itself to you. The secrets of the universe are ready to reveal themselves to you. You know? See, the ocean floor is the lowest level where the water stays on Earth, right? That's why every river in the world ends up serving and delivering things to the ocean. We are so much more powerful than we think. You know, one drop of water might think that it is a weak little thing only when it is separated from the ocean. So when you separate a drop of water from the ocean, that drop of water, if it could speak to you, might think that it's a tiny little thing, it's a weak little piece of water, not realizing that all it has to do is merge back with the ocean. And it has all the mighty powers of the ocean. So when you become stillness, you merge with all of existence, all that there is. You merge with God. You merge with your higher self. You're no longer connected to the finite mind. You're connected to the infinite mind. And I swear, you can ask a question and then go back into the emptiness, and you're going to get this download of course, yes. And then you just get this connection. You start to establish this beautiful relationship with the universe, where you realize that the whole of the universe is alive, and it speaks to you, but it whispers. And your mind chatter is so loud that it can very easily overcome the whispers of the infinite mind that is constantly looking to talk to you, that is waiting to speak to you, that is waiting to reveal itself to you, that is waiting to serve you, that is waiting to take your commands and make your wishes come true. But it's a whisper. And in order to connect with that whisper, infinite mind, you have to be quiet. You have to be still. I hope this helps. Enjoy your holidays. I hope you guys are having a beautiful, beautiful time. And I'm going to go for a walk with my baby. I love you guys.